name is Angie Robb, and I handle payroll and benefits for Morris Drywall. We are located in Tyler, Texas. We have a satellite office in Sunnyvale, Texas as well. We are a family-owned commercial drywall company. Morris Drywall has actually been working with About Time and WorkMax for 15 plus years. And about 3 years ago, we transitioned to WorkMax, which was the cloud-based program. We were using a very inefficient, antiquated system of our timekeepers, keeping time on a paper timesheet, taking a picture of that timesheet and emailing it into payroll. And then the payroll representative was responsible for manually keying in all of those hours. There were lots of payroll errors. Things weren't legible, things were keyed in wrong. And so my role was to move us to something that was more efficient, which About Time WorkMax became the solution for that. And since then, the payroll errors, I can't even tell you when I had a payroll error. And it also put a lot of the responsibility on the timekeepers. It was no longer my responsibility to know what hours they worked. They had some responsibility in that, which was very beneficial as well. So a few of the benefits that WorkMax has provided to us is the facial recognition program. Prior to being able to have this technology, we did have an issue with ghost employees. We not only have Morris Drywall employees, but we do subcontract a lot of our work out to other companies. And we were having an issue with people writing down their names, saying that they were there and they were not. With this facial recognition program, we're able to actually save a picture of them on their profile in WorkMax and be able to compare that to their clock in and out pictures, which has completely eliminated the issue that we were having with the ghost employees. Another benefit that has saved us is the location on the time clock. We actually had a foreman that we suspected that he was maybe clocking in prior to being on the job, clocking out after getting home from the job. And because of this location, we were able to see, yes, he clocked in well before he arrived to the job site and clocked in well after he got home from the job site. And so that helped us solve that mystery, and we were able to handle that with that foreman. Another nice feature of the WorkMax app has been that we can change the language to Spanish. A great deal of our labor is Spanish speaking. And so it makes them feel more comfortable when they know exactly what they're clocking into, what they're signing their name to, what they're agreeing to. So that has been very helpful with us out in the field as well. When we originally rolled out this technology to our field, it was a bit of a challenge. Our workforce was very reluctant to the technology. Like, they liked keeping their paperwork. But once we really rolled out the program and they saw how easy it was, how efficient it was, how they could see exactly what they were punching in and punching out to, what I was seeing, they really saw the benefit of it. And another thing that has been nice is the real-time version of it. If I'm looking for an employee out in the field, typically, before we use this program, I wouldn't even know where an employee was working until a week later when the time was turned into me. But if I have someone, needing to know where one of our employees is, I can immediately look on WorkMax and be able to tell exactly what job site they are, who they're working for, and be able to get in touch with them. And that has been very beneficial to us. The relationship that we have had with About Time and WorkMax has been incredible. They have always been open to our feedback, any suggestions that we had. And I'll tell you, one of the greatest things about the new web-based program is the auto syncing that goes on in the background of the app. Before, I would have to rely on my timekeepers to manually sync their time clock in order for me to see their punches. But they have now advanced this technology, and it does an auto sync in the background, doesn't interfere with anything that the guys are doing out in the field, and it gives me a real-time look at what the individuals are doing out in the field. Another advancement that has been extremely beneficial to our project managers is the job location function. Now our employees can simply look up the job location, see the address, and actually click on directions from the app to take them directly to the job site. Our project managers can call them, say, hey, I'm sending you to this job, and they don't need to worry about having an address on hand. And another thing that's great is when the employee gets to the job site and goes to clock in, that job site actually shows up towards the top of the list since they are located closest to it. Since transitioning to the WorkMax program, my job has become tremendously more efficient. Um, I'm able to get the time entered much quickly, and therefore payroll is not anywhere near as stressful as what it used to be. Keying in hundreds of employees' time used to take 2 to 3 days alone, just keying in time. But now I'm able to export the hours, Monday before lunch. And therefore, any subs that we use, I'm able to get the hours to them so that they have adequate time to invoice us. And so it makes their payroll a lot more efficient as well. The real-time visibility has been very beneficial to our project managers. They no longer have to wait until the week is done or the job is done in order to get a look at those hours that are being put on the job site. It's also very beneficial when it comes to our general contractors. If they call and want to know exactly how many men are on a job site, we have satellite offices, but we are not located where the job site is. And so we no longer have to drive to that job site, count heads. We can simply look at the WorkMax app, pull up that job, and see exactly how many men were there, what they were doing, because it's based on job code, what time they got there, what time they left, and our general contractors really appreciate that visibility. The cloud-based function of it has been very helpful for me. There has been times where I may not necessarily be in the office, may not be signed on to my work computer, but I'm able to log on to the WorkMax site at any point to check time for someone, create a new PIN number for someone, and I don't necessarily have to be in the office to do that. Our partnership that originally started with About Time and now has transitioned to WorkMax has been great. Anytime that we've had any feedback or had any needs that we needed met with the program, they have always been very understanding. There has been a few tweaks that we've wanted to make of information that we needed, and they've always had a solution for that and have always been very understanding to try to make things more efficient and simpler for us. Because of all of the benefits that we were able to have with the About Time program, it was an absolute no-brainer transitioning to the WorkMax application with them. We saw all the advancements in the technology that they were going to have and how it was just only going to get better and better. And so staying with them was a no-brainer. We didn't even look out in the market for anyone else. We were perfectly happy with everything that they were providing to us. Out in the field, there are particular forms that we require from our foreman to complete, and it was always very challenging to get them to fill out this piece of paper and get it to us. So one of the great things about WorkMax is these forms are online, available for them in the time clock program that is they're already familiar with, that they simply complete, hit submit, and it sends it directly to me. They don't have to worry about doing it at the end of the day when they're tired, ready to go home, remembering to send it in. And this has been very helpful to our project managers because one of these is a daily report where they have to list specifics about a job, and this needs to go to our project manager and our general contractors. So not only are we getting the benefits of this function, but also our general contractors are as well. Another form that has been very helpful for me is we have a new hire form in there where if they have a new sub show up on the job, they take their picture, they give me their name, they give me their job classification so I know how much we're paying them. All of that is right together. I don't have to go back with 50 questions trying to get them set up in the system. And that picture is already there for me, a clear picture that I can save in their profile. And this has been very efficient for me and very efficient for the foreman out in the field. Because we have this tool available to us in the WorkMax app, we do plan on rolling out more forms out into the field that we have wanted in the past, always wanted them to do for us, but it just hasn't always been as easy for them. And so we will definitely be taking advantage of this function more in the future. Because the WorkMax app is very user-friendly, our guys in the field are able to install this app on their phones, on tablets that we provide, which can be Android or Apple, and it has always run very smoothly no matter what device they are using out in the field. And so we don't have to order specific ones or make sure they have particular things on their phone. It is very user friendly and has been very convenient. One of the greatest features about the time clock is the ability for my timekeeper to leave me a note. This saves phone calls, it saves text messages, it saves emails. Right when they are clocking someone in, if they realize, hey, they were here at 7 and I'm just now clocking them in at 7:30, no worries. All they do is leave me a note. I see it. I change it the very next day, and they don't have to worry about remembering, and I don't have to worry about someone's time being messed up. One of the forms that we use in the WorkMax app is a daily report. And the greatest thing is our foremen, the people out in the field, can take pictures of work and attach it on this form. Because we are not on the job site, it gives our PM a look at exactly what they've done the day before, day after, anything they're having issues with. Those pictures are very helpful since we can't always be on site. With the majority of our job sites, they could be out in the middle of nowhere. We're building a new building. There's no phone, there's no internet. And so with the app, one thing that is very helpful is they don't have to have any sort of internet service in order for the app to capture the information. Their clock ins, their clock outs, their changing job codes, their notes, anything that they put in this app is stored in there. And then once they get home or go to the office, then that information can be synced and sent immediately to payroll. When I think back to when I first started with Morris Drywall, and we were getting these paper timesheets that were a picture of a dirty piece of paper taken out in the field that was then emailed to payroll. And then someone was responsible for trying to read the names, the hours, the job codes, the dates on these pieces of paper to accurately pay someone. This is someone's pay. It is very important. And just to think of how inefficient and antiquated that process was, I can't even believe we did that for so long. Now that we have transitioned to this program, I think everyone, even the ones that were very adamant out in the field, how they wanted to do their paper, they didn't want to use any sort of technology and weren't very trusting of the technology. Now they see just how much more efficient this is and how payroll, we no longer have issues. Their pay is correct. If they miss a punch, I know immediately what is missing. By being able to look at it in real time. I don't have to wait until a week later and them hopefully remember who was there, what time they were there. And so I can't even imagine going back to the way that we were doing time. This has just been a tremendous advancement for our company. And it is very user friendly. I mean, I have guys out in the field that I was very nervous about rolling this out to because I know I get text messages and emails from him and I know how challenging that was, so I was very nervous about rolling out this technology to them, but it has been smoothless. I mean, these guys just picked it up. It's very user friendly, very clear what they need to do, very easy to find different functions within the app. And so it has gone great. Obviously, it is a big investment, for our company. And there has been some pushback from the owner because he is very old school, but I feel like it is also because we have this program, we have been able to pretty much eliminate a payroll position. It no longer requires multiple people, one to key in all the time, one to finalize time. It's so efficient that we no longer have to have an extra staff member just to try to get payroll completed in time. So that alone has saved our company. Because that's what I was hired for. I was hired to come in and manually key all these paper timesheets that we were receiving. And since then, we've actually eliminated an office manager position, and I have taken over the entire payroll process, not just the keying in. Like I talked about earlier with the ghost employees, with the foreman that we had, we suspected he was doing lots of things. We would show up on our job site and he wouldn't be there, but yet his time said he was there, and I think that was a real eye-opener for the owner of our company, that we were no longer had to go off of suspicions. We actually had facts, and proof that he wasn't working what he said he was. So that was a big turning point for the owner of our company.